probably if you're a millennial as well, Looney Tunes had an impact on your life. They just did. And how about this right here? This is a Foghorn Leghorn comment, but I said, my generation grew up drinking out of glasses with Foghorn Leghorn and a bomb on them. We didn't have time to be triggered. We didn't have time for safe spaces. There was too much dangerous shit waiting outside for us to do. You know, that's basically what it is. We would come in from jumping things like Evel Knievel, narrowly skirting emergency room visits, or at least something that would require your mother to pour an industrial sized bottle of hydrogen peroxide on it, or maybe God forbid they had to get out the mercurochrome or whatever it was called. But you know, it was a dangerous time and we weren't worried about stuff like this. You know, like take a look at this. You know, I've never believed the argument that violent television shows cause violent behavior. Because kids of my era saw more shit get detonated than the Taliban's kids. And most of us have stayed out of prison up until now. Wile E. Coyote would basically kill himself about 2 or 3 times every cartoon, but he would pop right back up and go after the Roadrunner again. It was a different era. These were cartoons. I mean, and again, somebody was getting a gun pointed at them in about every second or third Looney Tunes cartoon. How about these guys, though? It was always a great day whenever these sweet bastards showed up in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Was that, I think the little guy, his name was Lefty, I think. All right, Rabbit. I can't even do the imitation, but if you remember him, you very well remember how he sounded. And then the big guy was just like, durr. Legends is what they were. They weren't even in very many. Elmer Fudd, don't even get me started on Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd was blasting Daffy Duck's bill around to the back of his head and everything else. And Elmer Fudd also taught me culture. As I said, growing up in Horse Cave, Kentucky, who do you think that I learned about opera from? I learned it from Elmer Fudd and Bugs Bunny. That's how I was exposed to Wagner for the first time. You are so lovely. And then Bugs Bunny says, yes, I know it. I can't help it. See? I know culture. And this right here might be my favorite Bugs Bunny cartoon of all time, actually. And I've always said it. When you're talking about the most effective dominant pitches ever, I'm coming at you with Bugs Bunny's powerful, paralyzing, perfect pachydermis percussion pitch. Because the Gas House Gorillas could not handle it. Simply unhittable. The only other pitch that's even in the conversation is Mariano Rivera's cutter. I'll give the edge to Bugs Bunny slightly. And how about this sweet bastard, by the way? We all know Speedy Gonzales. Undale, Arriba. He was a fast motherfucker. But do you remember his cousin, Slowpoke Rodriguez? When you're talking about underrated Looney Tunes characters, yeah, that's right. I'm coming to the table with Slowpoke Rodriguez. Hey, senor. I'm very slow today, senor. Remember this bastard? Homeless, probably. He's got all of his world's possessions at the end of a stick like a fucking hobo. Love that guy. He was outstanding. There's so many good ones. I don't know. Who do I want to go? Who do we have next? Yeah, okay. Well, here's a general statement. I believe this too. Kids who watched Looney Tunes cartoons grew up to be better adults. Because we grew up in an era where there wasn't as much stuff that was made for children. We didn't have any Dora the Explorer shit, really. Did we? We didn't have like Arthur. We didn't have these shows that were made for like really small kids generally. Cartoons were intended to entertain adults. The Looney Tunes cartoons were shown in movie theaters. You'd go in and you'd see Bugs Bunny for 10 minutes or whatever before the movie started. And the reason that these cartoons were so fucking funny is they weren't made for kids. They weren't dumbed down to try to entertain a bunch of 6-year-olds. So if you were a 6-year-old watching, you had to figure out what was going on and try to keep up. Just like I used to read Sports Illustrated when I was a kid rather than Sports Illustrated for kids. And I think I'm better off for it. And can I shout out this sweet bastard? I'm a cat guy. I'm a sweet cat bastard is what my girlfriend says. It's not said enough, but Sylvester was a good father. He's a fucking tomcat with a slew of personal problems. Nobody really expected this level of involvement, and yet there he is, actively participating in his son's life. And I commend him for it. There's a lot of deadbeat dads in the alley cat community, and everybody knows it. So shout out to Sylvester for taking a break between trying to eat Tweety to be a dad. And then how about these sweet bastards? Morning Ralph, morning Sam. They would just clock in and proceed to go at it all day long, trying to eat the sheep, trying to save the sheep, and then at the end of the day, they would clock out and they were buddies again. There was something beautiful about that. I never could quite figure out if he was Wile E. Coyote's alter identity or what was going on there exactly. But how about this? I could figure this out when I was a kid. Pepe Le Pew. That amorous motherfucker. Dad, what kind of cartoon is that? Well, son, this one's about a skunk that wants to fuck everybody. Is it as good as it sounds? Better. Pepe Le Pew, what's the guy going to do? He had a high sex drive. He was charming. He was used to lady skunks being receptive to his advances. Didn't realize that it was a cat, which was a problem. Yeah. So think about it. Maybe in this era, as a parent, maybe you need to let your kids watch some Looney Tunes cartoons. If you've got a 10-year-old, a 12-year-old, they haven't been exposed to all of this great shit. My advice, hey look, I'm not Dr. Spock, but my advice, let them watch some Looney Tunes cartoons. I think it'll do them some good. The road to the title of the best jerseys that any team in the NFL wears this year is going to run through Tampa Bay, however. We were talking yesterday about the New England Patriots breaking out the throwbacks this weekend. Well, have a look at this. Because the creamsicles are coming, motherfucker. And they're coming for you. This is another team that's off to a good start, and now they're bringing positive karma to the table here, and they're wearing the white ones. However, they're going to wear the creamsicles later this season, but these are the white jerseys, still just sharper than fucking anything else that you're going to see. Just look at them. Just look at them. Why would you ever change that?